네, 안녕하세요 여러분, 네딸바입니다. 지난주, 지지난주 비트코인 컨퍼런스를 연달아 다녀오면서 정말 운 좋게 여러 훌륭한 해외 비트코이너 분들을 인터뷰할 수 있었는데요. 특히 프레스턴 PC 형님을 2번이나 인터뷰하는 데 성공했습니다. 최대한 다양한 질문을 여쭤보려고 이것저것 준비를 했는데 어제 올라간 영상이 마음에 드셨는지 모르겠습니다. 원래는 통으로 편집해서 올리려고 하다가 조금씩 작업이 끝나는 대로 올리고 있는데요. 그 중에서 특히 오늘 보여드리려고 하는 내용은 여러분 꽃게 마인드 뭔지 알고 계세요? 크랩 멘탈리티라고 하는데 이른바 조선 개를 일컫는 말이죠. 사촌이 땅을 사면 배가 아픈 그 마인드입니다. 잘난 놈이 위로 올라가려고 하면 그 꼴 못 보고 잡아서 끌어내리려고 하는 이 못된 어떤 질투심, 시기심 이런 마인드인데 이런 것들을 어떻게 하면 극복할 수 있을지 그런 힌트를 주는 좋은 얘기가 아닐까 싶습니다. 한번 프레스턴 형님은 이런 꽃게 마인드를, 크랩 멘탈리티를 어떤 식으로 극복할 수 있다고 얘기하는지, 그리고 혹시 프레스턴 형님 본인은 그런 적은 없었는지 한번 얘기 들어보도록 하겠습니다.
5억! 아니 5억이래. 개당 5조 원 가자!
Hello, Preston.
Hey.
Nice to see you again here in
Yeah,
conference.
great to be here in Korea.
I mean, I really like your suit today. I haven't imagined like you are wearing a suit.
Ever in a suit.
Yeah, I mean.
I was getting comments online. Oh my God, why is Preston in a suit?
Okay, so maybe today's questionnaires might be there's some overlap with
Yeah.
the last talk we had, but yeah, let's do this. So, as far as I know, you started as a value investor. It was very long time ago video, but actually that video was the funnel I got to know you.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
a friend of mine recommended that video. Like it was 8 years ago or something, and yeah, it was very impressive. And eventually, I revisited you again through Bitcoin. And maybe you can share the moment when Bitcoin finally really clicked you hard?
It clicked really early, to be quite honest with you. And most of it was just because I had studied the 2008 crisis. Like, what was the fundamental problem that was happening? Why were they able to do QE? And like, how was that not creating like crazy inflation? And so I knew that there was a real massive problem that was brewing, and I was trying to understand like how it was going to resolve itself. And luckily I had kind of I got pointed to some like what I think are some really good sources in Buffett himself, just in financial valuation, and then really Ray Dalio, just understanding these long-term credit cycles.
Yeah.
And they helped me really kind of understand the problem that existed. Currencies have these issues every 40 to 100 year cycles that I learned from. So I had known that prior to coming across Bitcoin back in 2015. And so then when I came across Bitcoin, I was like, whoa, I think this actually solves this issue of the quantitative easing and everything that they were doing after the 2008 crisis. And so like right out of the gate, I was like, wow, I think this might be what actually solves this problem, this much bigger problem. So I think that's not the normal path. I think the normal path for a lot of people is more, whoa, this thing went up 100%. Let me start like trading it or speculating with it. And then they kind of start studying like, well, what was it fundamentally for? And like all of that, where I kind of came at really, I understand the problem way better now than 10 years ago, but I knew that there was this really big problem and I knew that it needed some type of solution to fix it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say that your frame, I mean, the way you see the world as an engineer helps you to understand the fundamental problem first
Yeah.
and then get into a beautiful solution, which is really engineered money. I mean,
Yeah.
this is the sailor's quote, but probably, is it fair to say in that way?
Yeah, I think so. And I think that's why you've seen so many engineers that are also finance people.
Yes.
Or some of the, like Lynn Alden
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
perfect,
Yeah.
Michael Saylor is another one. Greg Foss was an engineer and somebody that, and I mean, these are just a couple people that were, they had this crossover where they were engineers,
Yeah.
but also like deeply understood finance and security analysis and things like that. And I think it's no surprise that when they're looking at the solution to this quote unquote problem, they're looking at it from an engineer standpoint and trying to deeply understand where the vulnerabilities or issues might be with, said solution.
Okay. Your podcast often reflects, I mean, this is like purely my impression. It seems like you have a very deep affection for so-called normies. Like maybe I sort of hate to say, average person or whatsoever.
Yeah.
But, we are not all born to be, financial engineers. And of course, I'm the normie still. I mean, many of my friends or many of my audiences are still normie. Was there something, shaped such mindset for you?
I would just say that in the military, at least in the U.S. military, it was always instilled in me that if you take care of your soldiers, they'll take care of you.
Okay.
And I think that that's just something that was taught to me at a very young age, and it was something that I just kind of learned. And like I don't know, I have a deep affection for that. There's this reciprocity that's happening between you and everybody that you interact with, regardless of if they're a billionaire or somebody that's fresh into college or whatever. That the way that you treat both of these people, irregardless of where they sit, has a way of just coming back and giving back to you in the way that you treat just people at large. And but I think that culture or that trait, I guess, really comes from the military background. Yeah,
I see. Beautifully said. So military has really like a form.
Yeah.
I mean, we can never deny like our past experience really forged us to a certain
No doubt.
personality and so forth. Yeah. And this might be a bit funny question. So it's about Bitcoin Maxi. BitMaxi. So, I mean, including myself, often get criticized by no-coiners, fiat economists, and crypto people
Yeah.
as being too toxic.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt the urge to sometimes respond harshly on those things? And how do you personally deal with such tension? Do you have any tip?
Well, I don't know that I'm the best person to be talking on this subject because sometimes I'm just over the top, too aggressive online. So, I think some of it is just you can be tolerant. If people start attacking me personally as opposed to the idea, that's when I get really frustrated. And I get triggered.
Yeah.
And the right thing to do is just block the person, like ignore them and go somewhere else where somebody is respectful and really wants to kind of bat around the ideas and focus on like why you're right or why you're wrong and like what the truth of the idea is, as opposed to like anytime I personally attack somebody, I already know I've kind of lost the argument, or I'm not in it anymore for the idea. I'm in it more for my own personal ego, and that's when I know it's the right time for me to step away. But doing that in practice versus knowing that that's the thing that I should be doing is the real challenge.
Theory and practice.
Theory and practice, yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. This might be the last question. So, newcomers to Bitcoin often very obsessed over their, so to speak, entry price.
Yeah.
What's
yeah.
my average price of buying
Yeah.
Bitcoin? Like, oh, you have so lower price. I envy you. I
Yeah.
jealous you. Oh, Bitcoin drops. I mean, for example, last night Bitcoin drops. I don't know, maybe
5,000
Yeah,
or whatever.
whatsoever. Obsessed with the average cost, profits, or concerned about whether should I take a profit or not.
Yeah.
Were you like that in the beginning, or
Yeah, I think-
do you have any
yeah.
helpful advice for those still struggling on their bed?
For me, I'm bent out of shape that I know people. Like, for example, Trace Mayer was one of the people that orange pilled me back in 2015, and I knew he was buying it below 20 cents a coin, right? So for me, I'm looking at him and I'm like, dang it, if only I would have been looking at Trace buying it.
Yeah.
And then people were looking at me, oh, you got it at $200, and now I'm paying $100. I'm often reminded of a Warren Buffett quote, which he says, the market in the short term is a voting machine, but in the long term, it's a weighing machine.
Yeah.
And what he's really getting at is it's not about the price that you're paying for the Bitcoin. It's about how much Bitcoin you're able to kind of amass over time and take a larger and larger position size. So I would tell people to just focus on the thing that they're good at operationally, whatever that product or service is, or whatever that value is that you're providing to society. If you're doing that in excess, how are you going to store it? I obviously think Bitcoin's the way to do it. And then just to kind of sweep those cash flows into the Bitcoin and just watch the weight of the position kind of grow over time, and to just not overthink it, because when you do that, you're going to speculate. You're always going to. It's fear. Fear drives that. Fear I missed out, or fear I'm too late. The key is to be thankful for that you know now, and to know that I think there's plenty of time left on this thing, and to be thankful for that. And I think that you receive an abundance when you start being thankful for what you have today, as opposed to what you wish you had.
Yeah, I recalled your remark about being a net producer, not a net consumer. Like being net consumer only makes your Bitcoin stack disappear. Yeah, I mean, so these days I'm not that young. I mean, I will have at most maybe 10 years of my generating my cash flow. And these days I realize, I don't envy people who have a lot of Bitcoin, but I envy people who have a lot of time. Young people.
Yes.
They have a lot of
Amen.
time.
Amen.
So probably this is really aligned with what you just said, right?
Yeah.
Time is
really
ultimate resource you have.
Yeah. Okay. And Bitcoin gives you back that time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it really does.
Okay, that was really nice talk again, and hopefully, I don't know, maybe we can do this again. I mean, even after you go back to US. So, of course, all my audiences are very hardcore BitMaxi, so they will probably know you already well before than I. But please let the audiences, where to find you.
I'm active on X, just at my name, at Preston Pish. I have a podcast. It goes by the handle We Study Billionaires, and I cover Bitcoin every Wednesday. But yeah, that's about it.
Very pleased to meet you in person. Even twice. Have such nice conversation. So hopefully
Likewise.
Yeah, we will talk about this interesting stuff again.
For sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
오늘의 영상이 마음에 드셨다면 더보기란, 댓글창, 영상 말미에 띄워드린 다른 영상들도 함께 살펴봐 주세요. 여러분들의 비트코인에 대한 이해의 폭을 넓히고 특히 비트코인에 대해 평소 가지고 계셨던 의문이나 오해들을 푸는데 도움을 드리려고 정말 열심히 만들었거든요. 오늘도 시청해주신 여러분들께 감사하다는 말씀드리며 그러면 저는 다음 영상에서 다시 뵙겠습니다. 감사합니다.
This is what happens when you have a quantity of something, then you add more to it. This is dilution. The principle is so simple that a child can understand. And you can create this little science project at home. Sorry, you can have your tea back. But the principle is called dilution. And when you print $5 trillion and you put it into the economy, you have diluted the value of the money.